Greetings, this is Zoner with Stolendroids Media, and we are here with my favorite person ever, Larry Correia, and you are, sir, my favorite person ever.
Well, thank you.
Now, you are no stranger to these conventions. You get a lot of fans coming up to you. You ever have any weird stuff happen?
Oh gosh, at cons, yeah, I've met some strange people at cons, and I'll try not to hurt anybody's feelings. Now, I've met some people that I'm not sure if they're on the same plane of reality as the rest of us. I've had people share their conspiracy theories with me. My wife actually runs interference for me at a lot of these events when we get the really weird guy, and she'll kind of like gently take him to the side as he tells him her theory, his theory about the reptoids of the Hollow Earth, chemtrail mind control. I get that once in a while. I get a lot of fun ones.
Well, I don't see your wife here ushering me away,
not today,
I think I'm good for the moment. Although you are larger than me, and
yeah, I've run into some weird ones and some cosplays that have made me a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, we do see those. Now, you have a new book out. You are mostly known for your MHI and Grim Noir series. You now have a new series.
I do, yeah. It's epic fantasy. The first book, it's called the Saga of the Forgotten Warrior series. Book one is Son of the Black Sword. Just came out in October. It's doing really extremely well. It is an epic fantasy based in a setting that's kind of like India. Really strict caste systems, and it's kind of a story of rebellion and redemption. The main character is kind of a fantasy Judge Dredd, and that the law is his life, and he's basically the kind of guy that commits massacres for a living, and that's how the book opens. That's the hero, and it goes from there, and it's a lot of fun. It's actually the best reviewed book I've ever had. It's getting a lot of accolades right now, and the sales have been great. It's up for an Audie for Best Fantasy right now. That's the Audie Award for Best Audiobooks, and it's just doing really extremely well. I'm really proud of it. I'm really pleased with how it turned out.
As well, you should be. I think I'm about 6 chapters in, loving it. Starts off right off the bat, like a lot of your books, if not all of them, with just action right out of the gate.
It's kind of fun because I had a lot of people talk about because when you first meet the main character, he's kind of a jerk. Yeah, no, he's a jerk. But it's interesting because I had a lot of people were like, wow, this is different than most of Larry's books. But then they get a little bit further into the book. When you get a little further ahead, you'll see where the guy comes from. And I have people come back at that point and they reread the beginning and they're like, oh, wow, okay, I totally see where this comes from. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. The backstory on the character is a lot of fun because this guy who was just torn down and rebuilt to just be a servant of the law. And then when that falls apart, just all hell breaks loose. And it is just a super violent rebellion story after that.
I think I'm getting close to that point.
Oh, yeah.
So
a few chapters, yeah, you haven't got to the big knife fight yet, but you will.
I look forward to it. Now, I do the audiobooks, and you mentioned you're up for an Audie with this.
Yeah.
How is it that you get such awesome narrators for your books?
I lucked out. Okay, so I started out originally with the Monster Hunter series, and I got Oliver Wyman on that, and Oliver is amazing. He is a fantastic voice talent, and he's gotten better with every Monster Hunter book. I mean, every character is distinct and unique, and it actually made me a better writer because I don't use dialogue tags nearly as much as I used to, because like I said, he said, she said. Really, when you start listening to your books and audiobooks, it makes you realize how much you don't need those.
Yes.
And Oliver was fantastic. And then the next series, the Grim Noir Chronicles, Hard Magic, I got Bronson Pinchot. And he is a classically trained actor. The man is just brilliant. And he brought this range of characters to the book, so it was mind-blowing. I mean, he's got 100 accents in this series. And we won several Best Novels Audie Awards because of his performance. It was just fantastic. He was up for Best Actor. And then my War Machine Universe novels, I got Ray Porter, who is amazing, and Gabra Zachman, who was great. And then this one, I got Tim Gerard Reynolds, who just has a voice for epic fantasy. He just kind of brings a gravitas to the role, if that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
And the way he reads is amazing. So the other guys will do a lot of different voices, and they'll kind of really make like an audio play. Whereas Tim does kind of a very, he narrates. He's a storyteller. But man, the way he does it is just enthralling. You're just glued to it.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Now, when when you talk with Audible about getting somebody to do your book,
Yeah.
do you have any say in that? Do you say, I want this guy to do it? Or do they say, guess what? It's your lucky day.
For me, it was luck, because when I started out, I had no say at all, and plus I didn't know much about the audiobook world. I do now. But when I started out, I didn't know who I wanted or anything, and Audible Productions, they have this genius guy there named Steve Feldberg, and Steve is the guy that picks the narrators. And he goes through and he reads the books, and then he picks the narrator he thinks will do the best job. So it's kind of a roll of the dice, and I just got lucky right out the gate. And ever since then, I do really super good in audio. Way better than I do in regular books. And don't get me wrong, I'm doing fine in books, but audio I do great. And so what they've done is they just kind of go through and Steve reads the books and his team looks at it and they're like, okay, who is the best fit? And they go from there. And now I have a little say, they'll come to me and they'll say, okay, this is who we've got picked out. This is some of the other stuff he's done. Why don't you listen to it, see what you think? That's what they did with Tim. And so they sent me some of his books and I listened to them. I was blown away. He did Red Rising, which was just a fantastic performance. And kind of went from there. I do have one I can't announce yet that's a secret project I'm doing with Audible, where we have a celebrity movie star narrator.
Nice.
And he's a very famous guy. Everybody here at Comic-Con knows him and loves him. But I can't announce it, and don't play this yet. That'll be out next week. So I'm probably safe, actually.
You should be safe.
Okay,
you should be safe.
Yeah, but that'll be announced soon.
Now, one thing, as I was listening to your book the other day, I've noticed that in your Grim Noir series, in your Monster Hunter series, there's a lot of elements of real world. And so I can kind of understand how you would prepare for those. How do you prepare for something that's just complete fantasy made up?
Man, I tell you, it's a totally different thing. So research is a big part of what I do, and I love to research. But when you're writing in your own world, all you're doing is you're taking your existing world and writing about it and just tweaking a few things. It's a different challenge. Creating a fantasy from scratch is a lot of work because you got to think, how does this fit in with this? How does this work? I mean, and I'm a retired accountant, so I get pretty nitty-gritty. It's like how does this economy work? How do these people live? But the more you think that stuff through, the more you can flesh out the world and make it real. And then you got the in-between, like I did with Grim Noir, where I took the existing world as alternate history and I veered it off. That's totally a different problem, too, because you're like, okay, if history diverged here, what would be different? You know, would this still necessarily work the same way, yes or no? And so it's all these little things you get in your head and you start thinking them through, and it makes the books better the more you think about the stuff beforehand.
Well, you are very good at it. I enjoy it.
Thank you.
Now, this is a series. How many books can we expect in this series? Do you know yet?
Right now in this series it's 3. First book's Son of the Black Sword. Second book is House of Assassins, coming in 2017. Third book is Destroyer of Worlds, coming in 2018.
And speaking of series, what about your other stuff? What can we expect soon? Because I need another MHI book, sir.
All right, there's a bunch coming. Okay, there's actually 4 MHI novels in the next year and a half.
Wow, that many.
Well, okay, so what it is John Ringo is doing a spin-off series.
Okay.
First one's coming this summer. It's called Monster Hunter Memoirs Grunge. And I'm the co-author on that. And that John basically wrote these books, and then I'm going through and making sure they fit in the universe. Their spin-off series are set in the 1980s, so they're set before the contemporary series. And then simultaneously, I've got the next solo Monster Hunter novel coming at the beginning of next year, going back to Owen Pitt. And then also there is a Monster Hunter Guardian, which is a Julie Shackelford novel written with Sarah Hoyt. That's coming after that.
Nice.
And there's a Monster Hunter anthology of short stories set in the universe. I've got Jim Butcher is in there, Jonathan Mayberry's in there, Faith Hunter's in there. Just a ton of really good authors. And they're all writing stories set in the Monster Hunter universe. Steve Diamond's in there, Mike Coopery's in there, Quincy Allen is in there. And they're just writing stories set in the world of Monster Hunter. Some from known characters that we've already met, some from new characters, and it's just kind of all put together. It's really fun.
That is awesome. I know you've got fans and stuff to talk to, so we won't keep you anymore.
No problem.
But thank you as always for chatting with us, and we look forward to checking out these books. So
thanks, man. Much appreciated.
And
thanks for having me on.
yeah, that is it with Larry, and be sure to check out his books because they are awesome.